Hello, universe. It is 9:36 here on the third day of September, the 9th month in the year. Well, who cares what year it is? Nobody even knows. So, in celebration of my 369th episode, I thought, well, hell yeah, I'll give myself a contrived opening. And that's about as contrived as space-time continuum lets me be. On that note, pause, I gotta go get high. And did I mention I'm listening to REO Speedwagon? I mean, of all the 369 appropriate activities, listening to REO Speedwagon? Obviously, it's time for me to fly over to the bong and get a bong hit. Okay, universe, I'm back. It is now 12:03 here on the third day of the 9th month of the year of whatever you want to pick. So today we're going to pick the year 6. Because the 369th episode of It's All My Fault is a shocking accomplishment for me. Because when you get right down to it, this is the 21st month of production for this little project, and if I can somehow be recording on the 30th of September or the 1st of October, depending on how you want to look at it, that will mean that my relationship with this podcast will officially be longer than any relationship I ever had with a woman. That's terrible. But I think about to change, or at least all the tea leaves are swirling in that direction. But I obviously didn't get on to talk about that. And since I only have another 2 minutes and change here to discuss this particular aspect of 369, what started the universe? When you think about there was nothing, then there had to be something. So, what's fascinating about numerology, not numerology, what's fascinating about numbers are that we see them as quantifications. They're tallies. We are using the numeric system to quantify goods and services, amounts. We are using it as not an abstract of existence, but as a framework on which to exchange human needs. So when I think of 350, I don't think of the interplay of the numbers 350 or the groups of 750s or any of that stuff. I think of $3.50. And unfortunately, this has separated us from the true mystical qualities that the numerals 1 through 9 present. And the mystical, ethereal, the range of self-contained magic are in the numbers 369. And it, again, when you think of the universe, you start with one element, and then maybe you even add motion before you add the second. But the base of the universe is all on doubling. Things split and become 2, or things double and become 2, then they double become 4. Everything in the universe that's built is built on 3 properties. Either doubling, addition, or the 369 magic trick. Well, I don't know if it's a trick, but 369 is what gets you to heaven. I mean, Tesla knew this. Pause. Okay, on pause. It is now 12:09 here on the third day of the 9th month of the year 6. Or the year 66? The year 6,666? I mean, we don't want to go where there's 666, right? But we kind of do today. Because, again, when you lock yourself into the 369 loop, what I'm saying is you keep reverting back to the basic elements 369, no matter how you want to coordinate your triples, they always end up self-contained. What's truly interesting, because 3 doubled is 6, 3 tripled is 9. Okay, so it all ends up self-contained. That's not all that interesting. But the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, they also create their own self-contained group. And inside of that separation is, in my opinion, the truth of the universe. And it all just sits in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So only having 7 minutes and now 38 seconds to try to figure this part out for you. And I don't have all this at all grasped. In fact, I don't know that in this dimension we're capable of grasping it. But, okay, again, start with there was a thing. And then I think this thing had motion. So it had a sense of movement of itself. And then it had a sense of spin. In other words, it couldn't just move from A to B, it could move rotationally. And then it either doubled or split. And the cool thing is, it doesn't matter. The math works either way, the universe works either way, the formulas work either way. If things are doubling or splitting, the universe doesn't care. But the arrangement of having yourself to create another creates the pattern of 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. And it's the same storage capacity that we use in computing artificial intelligence, and I believe is the foundation of bit information storage that the universe is accumulating. In other words, once the other became possible, then the universe started seeing everything as A or B. Not the universe, but I guess existence was formatted in such a way that it became dichotomous. A's and B's, ones and zeros, whatever. This or that. So now you started with 1, you've added motion, which doesn't really matter for the numerical ascensions, but you've added, now you've divided this to create 2. And these are just initial concepts. There was nothing, then there was one thing, now there are 2 things. These 2 things split again, now there are 4 things. They split again, now there are 8 things. They split again, now there are 16 things. That's one whole sequential pattern is based on that. Another pattern is based on Fibonacci, the addition pattern. But then, instead of just having A or B, this or that, the universe came up with the concept of 3. In 3, you have not just this or that, but you have everything else. It's what created all of the possibility of infinite. This realm entirely depends on the idea of 3. And it's magically embedded to scale into 9, which is the ethereal realm of all existence, at least as we know it. We're trapped in 3. 6 is, as far as I know, the overlapping spiritual side of the 3rd dimensional existence we participate in. And then the 9th dimension overlaps the 6th dimension like the 6th dimension overlaps the 3rd, creating the ascended true spirit energy realm of pure existence. Again, these are things that I only have seen explained, but have no real concept of how it works. But if you think of, okay, the double toroid field is a popular conception of infinite regression or infinite progression, however you want to look at it, in that it's a self-feeding apparatus. And that's correct. And I believe actually is the shape of our universe. But inside of those energies, you are limited to whatever scale of existence you can accept with your body vessel, whatever you want to call, not your soul. And so as we have moved into experience with the higher dimensions, the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensions, which include thought, whatever the exchange of energy is between entities. And I don't know what the sixth is. But if you're going to feel something magical in this universe, it's that you're moving out of the basic 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and basic is the wrong word, because this is where sound is sound lives inside of 4, 5, and 8, and all of matter, organic matter that exists, comes out of 1 and 2, and then when you add 3, you end up with spatial dimensions, time dimensions, all other possibilities become real. And then because you can then reintroduce those concepts at other levels of reality, well then 6 and 9 become ultimately the containment of all that is. So 9 is the perch. The 9th dimension is the envelope in which we all live. The 3rd dimension, when you got to tripling existence, and then tripling the triple, that's it. That's as magical and as expansive a formula as necessary to create everything that you see, was to just envision the totals from 1 to 2, from 1 to 2 to 3, then from 3 to 9, with 6 obviously playing a crucial role in between. And 3 and 6 are symmetrically aligned in this universe. So where you find 6, you find 3. Where you find 3, you find 6. It's that in the special exceptions that they lead to 9 that you find the highest levels of truth in the universe. And I know this is all sounding like, if you listen this far, you regret it. Because I don't have a way of explaining the containment fields that are used to keep us isolated from the greater truths that sit right inside of our realm and are tangible to us, but we can't interact with them. So, of course, none of this makes any real sense, because the Camel Lioness has left me with this shit in my head, and now I don't know what to do with it, but I know it's right. So pause. Okay, it's 12:33 here on the 3rd day of the 9th month of the year 6,666,666. And let's see if I can put some texture here that's worth all your endurance to 3-way it with me this far. If you want to get anything done in this world, have 3 people on the project. The strength of 3, an equilateral triangle, is exactly the shape that resists force from any direction, because of the congruent strength that it is to have 3 equal sides come together in that form. It's like a circle. There are certain magical structures. Sacred geometry, I believe, is a term here. I haven't looked into that much, but I have watched Randall Carlson's video with the cartoons, so I've got that much under my belt. So, having become an expert in that on YouTube, there's got to be some level of wonder, no matter what human fiber you're made of, about how elegant and yet complex it all seems, but repeatable and familiar. The experience of being in this human bodysuit in this 3D reality is just trippy enough that if you stop to look around and think about it, well, numbers are one place you can get all fucking mesmerized. Because once you take that single, and then you take that opportunity to create 2, well, what 3 presents next, like I said, is the infinite possibility of everything. Because with 1 and 2, you only have duplication. You have separation. You have other. You have the concept of not being all, of space between. So there is there's linear, and yet that's limited, truly limited. Just like being in the third dimension is limited if you could see 4, 5, and 6, which we can't. So I don't fucking want to speak like I know anything. I just know that that's as magical as it is to look at a line on a piece of paper and think of the limited existence that line has. How many ways 3 opens up the universe are, well, now you have 1 tripled. So now you've created multiplication. You've created the idea of not just separation and division or duplication, but explosion. Because if you triple again, that's as fast as the universe needs to unfold. And so you've also created addition. Because when you only have 1 and 2, you can say that creates addition because 1 plus 1 is 2, but it doesn't. It creates identity. It creates otherness. It creates space. But it doesn't create concept yet. Concept comes from 3. Because with 3, you have now the Fibonacci sequence ready to go. 1 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 3 plus... And you have the... you have multiplication. So you have exponentialism, as it were. And magically enough, you have dimension. Because now you've created not just linear, but you've created space and time. Well, you've created space and existence. And so 3 is the point at which the universe becomes all that we can now know. Well, I mean, in this part of the universe, not in our minds, not in our conscious existence. That's up in 4, 5, 6. But, and if you count 4 as time, fine, but time doesn't exist. Time's an illusion. Time's a necessary component of 3 dimensions. So, yes, it's the butter of the cookie, but by no means would you say that it is a fundamental to all desserts. And that's a terrible analogy. I can't believe that's the worst analogy I've ever made in my life. It means I want to make those cookies that are in the fridge that are sitting there waiting to be baked. Speaking of baked, nope, not at the 5:18 mark on this little segment. So once you have 3, you have everything. Because from 3, 1, 2, and 3 comes the universe. 4, 5, 6, all of it. But, and I'm not sure why 4, 5, and 8 make up sound. I don't know what the fifths and the measures of 4 and 8, well, and 2 and 1, obviously, but 1 and 2 make up everything. So when you extend the harmonics to 4, 8, 12, whatever it is, plus fifths, and I think sevenths are in there maybe at some point. I'm not really sure. But again, sound is trapped in this environment. When it's exposed to 4, 5, and 6 outside and 3, 6, and 9, I don't even know. Those are the sounds that these people come back from their near-death experiences saying, I've never heard anything like it. Because we're limited here by 4, 5, and 8. And that's, still, how much resonance does music have with your life? All of us are imprinted with musical connection. I was spending 90 minutes this morning just listening to music. And sometimes I'll let my random keep tempting me to hit pause and go get something done. But when the next song is better than the last song is better than the next, and I'll admit, I got to, I would walk 500 miles, and but I hadn't heard it in a while. And honestly, kind of like the song. Obviously, I have it. It was just the right time for it to play. And then I was immediately rewarded with Take 5 from Dave Brubeck and Dexy Midnight Runner, Come On Eileen. And what was the one after that? Oh, yeah, Guerrero from Kuriman. And when your selection is just feeding you exactly the song you'd want to play next, again and again and again and again, well, you have to respect that the universe is telling you to take a break, enjoy some music. Have a 369 moment later. Right now, you're having a Dexy's Midnight Runner moment. And, okay, between that and I Would Walk 500 Miles and Come On Eileen, those are two songs that I could very easily take out of the rotation right now. Because I've heard them today in meaningful moments, and the next time I hear them, I'm going to be like, oh, fuck, do I even like this song anymore? So, if I pull it from the rotation today, then when I go looking for songs in a year, thinking, what can I put in my mix that isn't in there now? And go, oh, wait, Come On Eileen, there we go. I'll love the song again. So, here on the 8-minute mark of this little foray into my mind, I will say, yeah, it's too much work. I'll never get that done. But instead of planning my musical library to be more in line with my personal choice of song affiliation, let's talk about 3. Because another thing about 3 is when the strength of something becomes its tripled self. In other words, when things exponentially start to move, the patterns of nature that unfold in these chaotic explosions that, when reduced back down to their basic element, will always be the combination of 3 basics. Even the 3 first elements of the universe, helium, hydrogen, and lithium? What was the third one? Fuck, I don't know. My chemistry gaps aside, physics gaps? Is that chemistry? What is that? Astrophysics? The reduction of complexity to simplicity will always result in a denomination of 3. And it's, again, I'm not sure that this even is interesting. It's just how simple all of this really is. When everything that we're experiencing feels like millions of variables in play all at once, what it really is a reductive system organized on the concepts of addition, doubling and halving, and tripling. Which is why 3 tripled is the end of the cycle. It's as far as it needs to go. The examples are set. That's all the universe needs to make everything happen, is to either follow the rule of 1, the rule of 2, or the rule of 3. Because those are the rules that set up everything else. And nothing else needs to be more complex than that. And when they say that good things happen in 3, or bad things happen in 3, or everything happens in 3, we live in complex systems. And the patterns in play are fundamentally based on 3. So watching for the triples of the universe are an effective way to pay attention to the universe, especially if you don't feel like you have any idea how to get out of your chaotic frame of mind. Start focusing on 3s in your day. I'm not kidding. This stuff will work. You will start resonating with energetic waves of potential that are developed to scale up in triplicate, especially if you're stuck and isolated in a zone of repetitive this or that. That's the other reality swirling around you, is the binaural one. If you want to lead an expansive conscious life, you'll lead it in triplicate. And to do this, you have to take care of your mind, you have to take care of your body, and you have to take care of your outreach. Those are the three things that create your reality. What you think in your head, what you think in your physical, how you feel in your physical, and what you're doing in your immediate interaction with the universe. If you don't attend to all three of those every day in a way that you are consciously aware that you are being there for those purposes, for your own growth, you will continue to live an imbalanced life pulled one way or another that doesn't permit the easiest of you to exist. Because the easiest of you has to have all three of those simultaneously being fulfilled on a daily basis just to get through life feeling like you had purpose. And if you'll just live with those commitments over the course of a month or a year, you will find a whole new life unfolds in front of you. Because now you're resonating with the energies the universe is trying to provide you. And I don't know why everything here, well, maybe it is just to control us, but everything here is split on AB. And it's just not how the universe is built. It's built in threes. And while there is a dichotomous sensibility to male, female, the human experience, this or that, when you expand the thought of what is the human experience between male and female, well, the point is to become three. Whatever you look at in the universe, it's tending toward three. And if somehow you can get involved in the wave of energy that is three tripled, well, now you're experiencing the universe's energies at its highest possible level, having never even considered those flows until they were exposed to me. Well, it's not something that I ever think we can achieve in this reality, but they're out there. It is the unshackling of your physical form into spiritual soul energy that is the ethereal jump into a realm of experience that makes all of this seem trivial. But while we're here, it's not trivial. Everything is dependent on us doing what it takes to make a better world by being the best people we can be. And the way your soul will be fulfilled is to take care of your head, take care of your body, and take care of your outreach. Whatever it is that you are, you need to be attending to those three things daily. And why am I telling you this? I don't even know. But I knew that part of what imbalance did to me was fail my creative outreach to be more than just A or B. Oftentimes in this society, C is the choice. Even when nobody is telling you that C exists, if you look hard enough, you will see that it's not just one or two, or A or B, or black or white, or this or that, but it's that third potential point of existence in between, above, beyond, below, throughout, whatever you want to see it as, that creates the possibility for all other things to exist. You're not an A, you're not a B. You're a 3. And that's the wonder of the universe. So if you're having a hard time in the silliness that it is to be either this or that, well, start being the other thing. and I promise the universe will respond.